the previous classes, we've treated different topics under journalism. So, and this is the sixth video for this course. Looking at the module context, we have media reporting, we have the understanding fair, objective, and subjective reporting. We have reporting for various media, reporting for print media and news agencies. We also have reporting for radio. Then we have reporting for TV news, reporting for web media. Then comparing the differences between this media reporting. So now, quick one. Media reporting serves as the backbone of a functioning democracy, acting as the conduit through which citizens receive information about events, issues, and policies that shape their lives. So it involves the systematic gathering, verification, and presentation of news in a way that is accurate, timely, and relevant to the audience. So reporters must navigate a complex landscape of sources, deadlines, and ethical considerations, balancing the need for speed with the responsibility to provide context and clarity. So by adhering to principles of objectivity and accountability, media reporting not only informs the public but also holds power to account, fostering transparency and encouraging informed civic engagement. So in all, to introduce to this the introduction for this course for this topic is that media reporting cannot be set aside when we are talking about journalism, because it serves as the backbone of a functioning democracy and acting as the medium through which citizens receive information about an event, an issue, or policies that is happening in the country. So media reporting is very essential when we are talking about disseminating information to the people or to the citizens of a particular country. So now let's look at the meaning of media reporting. It is the process of gathering, verifying, and presenting information about events, issues, or people to a public audience through various communication channels. So media reporting, in this sense, it is the process of gathering and verifying different information. Make sure that by making sure that the information is verified and fact, and it is passed through the information, whereby the information is passed through various communication channels, different mediums. So it involves researching facts, conducting interviews, and assembling the material into a clear, accurate, and timely story that informs, educates, or alerts readers and viewers. The core goal of media reporting is to provide the public with reliable information that helps them understand what is happening in their community, in their nation, or in the world as a whole, and to also hold those in power accountable. So this is the main function of media reporting, to pass information to the people in the community or in the world as a whole, and also to hold people, the powerful leaders, accountable for whatever action they do, because we have the media ready to monitor and ready to disseminate information about any form of disloyalty by the powerful leaders. So now let's look at understanding fair, objective, and subjective reporting. So these are the three these are the three principles, or let me say scope, that will be looking when we are talking about reporting. So fair reporting means presenting information in a balanced way, just as the name implies, giving all relevant sides of a story an equal chance to be heard. A fair journalist avoids favoritism, acknowledges any conflict of interest, and strives to show the full context so that readers can understand the issue without being pushed toward a particular viewpoint. Not looking this is disseminating or reporting about information or a news without any form of favoritism, at all. No, without considering any point of view, just disseminating the facts to the people. So now we have objective reporting. It is the practice of seeking to verifiable facts and avoiding personal opinions, also separating news from commentary. An objective piece answer the who, what, when, where, why, and how without inserting the reporter's interpretation, and it cites reliable sources to support every claim. So now we have subjective reporting. By contrast, it includes the reporter's perspective, unlike objective reporting. Now, that does not require interpretation of the reporter. But now subjective reporting, it includes the reporter's perspective, analysis of judgment. While it still relies on factual information, it openly reflects a point of view often found in columns, op-eds, or reviews, so the audience knows the content is shaped by personal interpretation rather than purely neutral facts. So now let's look at reporting for various media. So when we are, the steps are the medium through which news is being reported through different media is different. So there are some kind of differences. We'll be looking at the differences though. But now let's look at the meaning of the introduction to reporting for various media. So even though all journalists rely on the same core characteristics of news, that is what we've treated in our previous modules, the timelines, proximity, and prominence and the likes, those are the news determinants. The same event is presented very differently depending on whether it appears in a newspaper, on television, on radio, or online. So this same determinants is still present when we are looking at the medium through which the news is passing through. So these differences are not random. They are shaped by technical demands of each medium and expectation of its specific audience. So let's take print journalism. It depends heavily on written words and still photographs. Space is limited, so sentences are kept relatively long, usually 20 to 25 words, to pack as much details as possible into a small area. Now, television news, by contrast, is built around moving images and sound. It requires visual. People will have audience sitting looking at the television. So the script uses shorter, simpler sentences, and that is typically 10 to 15 words. They are easy to speak and understand while viewers watch video. So radio, on the other hand, it relies entirely on audio, mainly strictly audio, so the language must be vivid enough to create mental pictures for the audience. Online news, on the other hand, is the most flexible. It can combine text, photographs, audio clips, and video, or it's just online, just encompasses, it's cut across all the other media that we've mentioned, be it television, radio, news, and all newspaper. So online news in this context is the most flexible, which combine text, photographs, audio clips, and video call all on the same page. So now let's look at reporting for print media and news agencies. So print media encompasses newspaper, magazines, and other printed news sources, which is the oldest form of mass communication. Even though its readership is shrinking worldwide, many people still pick up, like, even though the readership, the users, is now shrinking generally, but many people still pick up a daily paper or a weekly magazine, underscoring its continued relevance. Regular readers of print tend to be more educated and often more engaged in social and political affairs as the media assumes the ability to read and write. So this is to tell us that when we are looking at reporting, print media reporting, it is more focused or directed or targeted to the literate in the elite individuals in the society. Only the literate can be able to, who can read and write, can have access to these informations in newspaper. Newspaper reports are crafted to be edited from the bottom up within a limited space, so material that does not fit is discarded. Readers typically scan headlines first. If a headline captures interest, they move to the opening paragraph and only then decide whether to continue. Headlines must be vivid and to the point, using active meaningful verbs and avoiding articles or auxiliary verbs. They are usually written in the present or future tense and in active voice, with occasional significant direct quotes placed in single quotation marks to spark curiosity. So we have reporting for radio now. Radio, after the print media, is the oldest news medium, and it reaches the broadest cross section of society because it does not depend on literacy, unlike the newspaper. So this one, it doesn't depend on it. It's cut across. It's the literate and the illiterate. They have access to this. It's people in a remote village as well as city dwellers can turn in, and UNESCO has called radio the mass medium that reaches the widest audience in the world. So compared with newspaper and television, which produces and distributes radio content is cheap and technically simple. Anyone who can speak can join a broadcast, and programs can be delivered locally in regional languages, often with telephone or SMS interaction that lets listeners take part. Just like we have seen in today's in different radio programs where we have people calling in. We have mostly illiterate. They are given the opportunity to hear the news and even communicate and not only communicate and even give their comments about what is being discussed or what is going on in the country through this phone call or SMS. So now let's move on to reporting for TV news. Television conveys news through a blend of sound and moving images. So the spoken words must line up with the pictures. The accompanying any mismatch can send contradictory messages. TV news does not let the audience control the flow. Viewers cannot pause, rewind, or replay a segment, which makes the medium inherently immediate. So, as former CBS News editor Ed Bliss once noted, spoken words disappear as soon as they are uttered. Yes, once it is being uttered, the word is gone. So, television reporters must use short, sharp conversation as soon as they are language that leaves little room for ambiguity. So, because editing is limited in the TV, reporting for the TV editing is limited compared with print. The story structure often departs from the strict inverted pyramid model, though the most crucial facts still appear in the opening paragraph, and the piece ends decisively rather than trailing off. A typical TV news item runs about 1 minute and 30 seconds, which at a speaking rate of roughly 180 words per minute translates to about 270 words, considerably longer than the average radio rap. Reporting for TV usually opens with a simple general sentence that signals the start of the story, followed by the reporter's narration or voiceover paired with video, graphics, or animation. This lead in or intro captures the essence of the story and supplies the context viewers the need to understand what follows. So now let's look at reporting for web media. Web media is basically any content you consume online, articles, be it articles, videos, podcasts, social post feeds, live streams, you name it. So that is being delivered through the internet rather than through print, broadcast, or radio. This is any report, any form of news or dissemination, or any form at all that is passing through the online platforms. These are the web media basically. So however, we can have the printing part in the web media. We can still have the audio part and the visual part and the video part on online in the web media. So because it lives on the web, it can mix text, audio, video, graphics, and interactive elements all in one place, letting you click, scroll, or tap to get the info you want whenever you want it. That is, you have access to information whenever you want them, wherever you are, and whatever information you want to listen to, be it a present occurrence or what happened in the previous days, previous weeks, and all. So unlike radio and TV, that once it is said, it is gone. So in short, it is the digital side of news and entertainment that is accessible from phones, tablets, laptops, or any devices with a connection. Now, let's compare the differences in these different mediums. So from the discussion above, it becomes clear that even though the core tenets of journalism, such as accuracy, fairness, and accountability, remain constant, every platform develops its own distinct approach to storytelling and dissemination of news, which is shaped by technical and practical constraints of that medium. For instance, print media uses words, radio uses sound, television uses words and sound and pictures. And television uses words, sound, pictures, and video, and online uses multimedia. Online on the online platform encompasses everything: the word, the sound, the video, the graphics, and all. So print media, another difference is that print media can include complex sentences, whereby since it is mainly for the literate audiences. So radio uses simple and brief sentence on the other hand, while television uses simple and brief sentences also, and online uses simple and brief sentence also. So now In conclusion, the choice of news stories, the length, and the choice of leads is important in all media type. We should note that it is the responsibility of all type of media to give people the news they want and that is relevant to them. In this module, we have seen how media reporting remains the cornerstone of a healthy democracy and providing citizens with the information they need to make informed decisions while holding power to account. Although the core principle of accuracy, fairness, and accountability are constant, each platform each platform such as print, radio, television, and online has developed its own distinct style, shaped by technical constraints, audience habits, and deadline pressures. So print media offers depth and the ability to revisit complex stories. Radio delivers immediacy and accessibility emphasis on true sound. Television combines visual and auditory elements to create an